I believe that everything is in God's control and is all part of God's plan for our lives. What sort of plan? At the moment, I'm already seeing His glory revealed through my struggles of having arms and no legs.
In Christ alone, my hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my song. This cornerstone, this solid ground, firm through the fiercest droughts and storm. What heights of love, what depths of peace, when fears are stilled, when striving cease. My comforter, my all in all, here in the love of Christ I stand. In Christ alone, who took on flesh, fullness of God in helpless babe, this gift of love and righteousness, scorned by the ones He came to save. Till on that cross, as Jesus died, the wrath of God was satisfied. For every sin on Him was laid. Here in the death of Christ I live.
The best testimony in the Bible for us to give is basically our lives as we live it. That the whole world will see that Jesus lives in us by our fruits, by the way we live. And I mean, I even go to public places and people would be even touched just by my smile. So I think it's very important to be open to the way God wants to use us and His plan for our lives. The desire for me to be independent and live a normal life and a full life is a dream of mine. I really just want to put limits aside and live life to the fullest and just going for it. So that's my main motivation I love new challenges. It was a pretty cool challenge, working out how I'm going to brush my teeth and all that sort of stuff. But so I enjoy that sort of stuff, but it sometimes gets frustrating. It sometimes does get frustrating. But overall my motivation would be just live life and not let anything stop me from overcoming any challenges. To overcome an obstacle, you have to first see where you are and what the obstacle is. There are a lot of things in my life that I cannot change, and obstacles have come in my way. Some have been in my control, some haven't been. Obviously, being born without arms and legs wasn't in my control, and that is a big obstacle. To overcome an obstacle, you have to realize where you are and to visualize yourself overcoming these obstacles, to focus on the positive things that we do have, using everything that we have to the best of our ability, and never giving up. I mean, overcoming big obstacles, you won't overcome it the first time, obviously, but when you fall down, God comes and gives you the strength to get up again and try again.
There in the ground His body lay, light of the world by darkness slain, then bursting forth in glorious day, up from the grave He rose again. And as He stands in victory, sin's curse has lost its grip on me, for I am His and He is mine, bought with the precious blood of Christ. In life, no fear in his first cry to final breath, Jesus commands my destiny. No power of hell, no scheme of man can ever pluck me from his hand till he returns or calls me home. Here in the power of Christ I'll stand.
Well, it's a blessing to be here with you this morning, and it's going to be fun this morning, but I believe that God's going to touch your heart as well. I love the attention, so I'm going to start off with kicking some tennis balls around in church. How does that sound? Yeah? I learned how to kick some tennis balls. I love playing soccer. Ready? Catch! Catch! Ah! Don't throw it back because I can't catch. Yeah? All right, here we go. Lovely. There you go. Nice catch. Nice catch. Yes, I was born without arms and legs, and my parents were dedicated Christians all their lives, and then I came along and sort of it really tested their faith. See, they actually had no idea that I was going to be born without arms and legs until I was actually born. And it was quite weird because there was no medical reason why this had happened. But the greatest concern was, if God loved my parents, why would he let something that bad happen to them? Why? And you know how in James chapter 1 verse 2 it says, "Brethren, count it all joy, nothing but pure joy when you go through these trials." Well, let me tell you that the last two words on my parents' minds was, "Praise God," when I was born. Do you know how mothers don't want to hold their firstborn? Like they're anxious. They're, I want to hold him or her. Well, when I was put next to my mother's side, guess what she said? "Take him away." It was such a tragedy. Count it pure joy. Today, I'm going to share with you the promises of God and the reasons why I can stand up here smiling and have the joy of the Lord. If you have your Bibles, turn to the 29th chapter of Jeremiah. Now, before we go into it, as you're turning, as I was growing up, I just need you just to understand what sort of life I was living, and not only was it difficult for my parents, but obviously for me. Now, I needed pretty much 24-hour care. How often do you need your arms and legs? Pretty much all the time, right? Well, I pretty much needed someone all the time. And I couldn't get myself a glass of water. I couldn't really feed myself at times. I'd get my face into that, ice cream. I'd be messy all over. So, I needed someone to feed me and take care of me. And it was humbling at times, when I had to get people to even take me to the toilet. Imagine your parents taking you to the toilet when you're about 11, 12 years old. That's a bit embarrassing, right? Well, I had no choice, pretty much. So that was hard. But I needed them so much, and I needed so much help that I thought, man, I feel like I'm even a burden to my own parents. And I told Mum, I said, "Mum, who's going to look after me when you and Dad are gone?" Like, I couldn't really see a future or a hope. I would never believe that any girl would like me, that we would get married in the end. No way. I'm still single, just to let you know. But seriously, let's read this passage. Jeremiah 29, verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." Now, that is a good promise. But why aren't we then always 24/7? Because our hope and our future sort of depends on the happenings of right now. Your deodorant can runs out, your nail breaks. So it's little things, you get frustrated, but also big things. And isn't it funny how, big things happen, and like, you're asking God for help, but He's not answering you? Yeah? Well, I'm going to share a promise with you just in a second. But because I really love the attention, I want to show off just a little bit more. Okay, at school, I learned how to write with my foot. This is an ordinary pen with a plastic holder around my foot. Love to write, love to draw, all that sort of stuff. I learned to type on the computer with my heel and toe, about 43 words a minute. But it's pretty cool. All right, now this is the tricky part, okay? I need a sound for a ringing phone. Oh, thank you. Good morning. Now, just to warn you, it might not happen at the first time, but what happens when we fail? Let's start it again. What happens when we fail? Excellent. Here we go. Concentrate, focus. Hey, is that cool? And as you saw on the screen, you saw my wheelchair, my Holden. Up the holders. Do donuts and get it sideways in the wet. It's grouse. It's so cool. Love it. But anyway, getting back to the story. That's enough for showing off, I think, yeah? Yeah. All right. It was hard. It was really hard sometimes. And I had this massive list of all the things that I couldn't do and I didn't have. And I'm thinking, well, why me? Like, I'd go to the shops and like point out to people, to God. Like I said, God, why don't you choose her or him? Like, he looks like he could handle something like this. I just can't do it. It just got hard sometimes. I really wanted to end my life at the age of 10. I just couldn't see anything. But out of all the things that I couldn't do and I didn't have, you know what the most painful thought was? When I used to see couples on the beach holding hands. Do you know what I used to think? I used to think this. Man, I'm never going to be able to hold my wife's hand. I'm never going to be able to wrap my arms around my children. No, I can't even really comfort them if they're crying. I can't do this and I can't do that. I won't be able to, get in the car, chuck my wife in the, next to me, and we go to the beach, and go on the surf and put sandal in her hair. You know what I mean? I can't do those fun things. It's little things, but they were very important to me. And it was hard. Now, growing up in a Christian home, I went to Sunday school, and I learned that Jesus loves you, but then I was stumped at the verse where it says, God made you in His image. And I'm like, right. Yeah. But it was really confusing because God loves me, right? And He created me in His image. But if He had full control over my birth, I realized, man, why would He make me like this? And I got so angry. I said, God, prove to me that you are real. Prove to me that you made me and that you love me. Why? Why me? And guess what? God didn't answer me for ages and ages. Don't you hate it when God doesn't answer you? So let's go back to that promise. What happens when you're asking for something and you don't get it, or you're seeking God and you're not finding? Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 12. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord. Now, why wouldn't He want me to find Him now? Well, life has its ups and downs. And it's in those down times where you really realize that, hey, you need God. And there is a reason why He's not answering you yet. I want to tell you this morning that there's no such thing as luck, chance, or coincidence, that you are here this morning, that you have the struggles and the worries and the cares and the anxious feelings that you have this morning. That is all God ordained, believe it or not. Why does He let us go through struggles? Why does He let us go through suffering? So He can strengthen us to draw us closer to Him and grow with Him. He has a purpose for everything. In Romans, Apostle Paul, he says, the sufferings have no comparison to what glory has been revealed to it. Romans 8:28, for all things come together for the best for those who love Him. Do you know what that means? That means God is not going to let anything happen to you unless He has a good purpose for it. Then you could look at me and you say, well, what possibly good could come out of this? Oh, buckle up. Buckle up. I'm holding on with two hands. I mean, ha 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 ha. Seriously. We'll get into that a bit later. But I want to tell you that there's a reason why God hasn't answered your prayer yet. He hasn't, quote, rescued you from your suffering because He's strengthening your heart. He's preparing your heart for something more. He's teaching you. Trusting God. Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Lean not on your own understanding. Trust God with all your heart. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. Trust God. But you see, I can get up here and talk all about this, and next week you're just going to be, man, my car broke down. You know what? And I might go home, and I don't want you to think of me like some perfect Christian, because I'm not a good Christian. Anything good that you see in me is not me as a Christian, it's God. Anything good for me is just nothing. Evil. I have nothing good in me. But you see, a challenge that I had within my soul was I wanted God to hear my prayers, and Satan sort of came to me and said, well, Nick, I think you should first fix this up, and maybe when you become a bit better, then God will hear your prayers better. Or I thought, well, maybe if I pray a bit slower, repeat a few lines, maybe God's going to hear me then better. Open the Bible a bit. No worries. Sweet. Nothing. But it says, when are you going to find God? When you search for Him with all your heart. You will find Him. He's declaring it to you this morning. You're going to find Him. Just keep on seeking Him. He knows everything about you. He knows your prayers before you feel them coming on. He knows the sufferings you're going through. He knows the desires of your heart. And that is the living sacrifice that you and I are asked to do. What does that mean? To lay all your desires down. To lay all your frustrations, your anxiety, all your discouragement, all your disappointments, all your goals and your dreams. That's where you lay it all down at the feet of Jesus. But I was still confused. Why, if God was so good and He's so perfect and He had a plan for me, why would He still make me like this? What possibly could He do with me? Now you might be thinking the same thing. I'm going to get to that. But this is what happened to me when I was 15 years old. We go through John chapter 9 through Bible class, and it's where Jesus comes across a man who was born blind with His disciples. His disciples asked Jesus, why was this man born blind? Do you know what Jesus said? So that the works of God may be revealed through him. Now, at the age of 15, I didn't quite understand that. But as you read on, guess what happens? Jesus spits in the dirt, makes a sort of clay, puts it on the man's eyes, anoints the man's eyes, sends him to go wash in the river, and guess what? That man comes back seeing. Praise God. Now, it doesn't record the reactions of the crowd, it only records the reactions of the Pharisees. But I'm telling you right now with 100% conviction, I can tell you now that if someone witnessed that miracle, at least one person would have been changed from witnessing that. I mean, let's think of it. If God gave me arms and legs right now, we would be like, whoa. We would be changed forever, right? So I had this mad plan. And I was going to run it by God. I said, God, how about this plan? How do you think this sounds? I said, God, look, give me arms and legs, and then I'll go on TV, and I'll go on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Oh, yeah, I'll do anything. Oh, I'll quit school, which sounded pretty good at the time. Go missionary trips, go to the ends of the earth. Just go for you. He didn't answer me. I thought, but God, this sounds pretty good. I thought, but this has got to be your will. Nothing. To cut that part of my story short, this is what happened. God said to me, Nick, Why do you really, really want arms and legs? I said God would be mad. Now, when I say God speaks to me, I didn't mean an audible voice, but I don't know. Have you felt God speaking to your heart? You just know that it's from God. You know it's from God. And if you don't, God will give you the grace and discernment to know if you keep on seeking whether or not it's from Him. He goes, why do you want arms and legs? I said, God would be mad to have arms and legs. All my goals and dreams would come true. I'd have no problem showing my affection to my wife, no problem at all, and everything's going to be sweet. But God, really, truly, I want to be the living testimony of your power and your grace and your love. I want to go out to the ends of the earth so when you give me arms and legs, I can prove to everyone that you are real. And I can tell everyone around the world that no matter what you're going through, God knows it and He will pull you through in His time. Not our time, because He's still got a few things to teach us. That is the trust that we've got to have with all our heart. People come up to me and say, Nick, where do you get your strength from? The joy of the Lord is my strength. Do you know what that means? What's the difference between happiness and joy? Happiness makes you happy when the happenings of your life are going well. Joy. Joy. The joy of the Lord is knowing that no matter what happens, God is with you and He will never forsake you. He will never leave you. There are times in your life, there are storms going to come in your way, and He might not be in your control as often they are. And He might not stop the storm, but He's going to embrace you and keep you warm till the storm passes. And that's the hope that we have in Christ. That's why I can stand up here and smile and tell you that God loves you and He loves me. And you want to know the glory revealed through this? I'll tell you now. I was going to tell you at the end, but this is so cool. I've got to tell you now. Man, I've been to America 3 times in the last 2 years, okay? I just finished a double degree in accounting and financial planning. I'm not going to go for a job because I believe I'm going to become a very famous international motivational speaker. I go out, thank you, praise God. I'm going to go out to, I'll go to schools. I've talked to about 40 schools this year, or last year in 2003, about bullying, self-esteem, dreaming big and never giving up. I'm also now just finished my training to become a professional speaker in the corporate sector as well. So I have these 3 sort of audiences out there, and I know it's just the beginning. What else am I doing? I want to become financially free at the young age, so I just bought a house last May, and God's blessed me with a great investment, praise God, and I'm just about to buy my second one. What else am I doing? I have a passion for also real estate, not real estate, but the stock market and options trading. What else am I doing? I'm going on Oprah Winfrey's show. Praise God. Just a minor thing to let you know, she doesn't know about it yet. We're thinking we might give her like a week's notice or something. But it's going to happen. But you know what the awesome hope that we have in Christ is that, you know, when we pray for things and it just might not happen, whatever, you know what the cool thing is about God? Is that if you're praying for something, it'll happen if it's His will in His time. But get this. That if it's not God's will to happen in His time, He has got something better. Now let me just give you a quick illustration. I have crushes on girls nearly every year. It's a different girl every year. It's crazy. I think I'm in love with a few girls here actually. And I think, man, I would love to marry her. She looks grouse, man. Wow. And I know my wife, she's going to be hot and just hot. And have an awesome zeal for Christ. And I know it's going to be perfect, but I just can't wait. And the funny thing is, like, I'd have a crush on a girl for a while, and then another girl. And I'm like, man, what's going on? And I'm praying to God. I said, God, please just give me a wife in your time, but you still want it bad. But you know what the awesome thing is? You know how you like fall in love with someone, and all you can see pretty much is their good points until you get married, right? I heard that, yeah. But all you can see pretty much is the good points. And I want to, you know, it was just an awesome revelation that all the girls that I've liked is just a taste of what's to come. Hello. A taste of what's to come. Hello, hello, hello. In many ways, okay? Trust God. Trust Him. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me sometimes? It's human. It's human nature. I'm not always like this every day. I wake up in the morning, praise God, what a beautiful morning. I'm not like that. I'm living life just as you. I'm tempted by the things just as you. I fail God every single day just as you. But it's by the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, because He died for your sins, that you are covered. There is nothing that's going to separate you from the love of God and the ministry He has for you. I'm a motivational speaker, and I encourage a lot of students to dream big. Did you know that as Christians, we should be the dreamers of today? Why? Why? Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. For we can do all things through Christ who gives us the strength. All things. To get through anything. To do things. So, my question to you is, how big are you dreaming? How big are you dreaming? How big is your ministry going to be next week, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Now, when we're getting into ministries, we do two things wrong. Firstly, if I say my dream and goal is to become a speaker. Now, we have to see what sort of speaker I am. If I get nervous in front of 10,000 people, if I can travel to the other side of the world, logically speaking, okay? If my content's good enough, you understand. That's what we do when we want to see how far we're going to go. What's our potential? Well, I can do this and that and that. No. If you want to see your full potential in your ministry from today, do not focus on your capabilities. No, focus on your availabilities. When you make yourself available for God's work in and through you to reach out to the world in different ministries, guess what's going to happen? I'm telling you, some wonderful things are going to happen, because they're happening to me already, and it's just the beginning. Now, the other thing that we do wrong with ministries is this. I used to hold missionaries in such high esteem, because they go out to the other side of the earth with diseases and flies and bugs and you name it, it's all there. And they still do it, and they're glorifying God through it all. Praise God. So what I had the missionaries up the top, then I had the preachers, then you had, I don't know, what else you got? You got the Sunday school teachers, then you got, the grandmas, and then you got the children. All in order. See, that's wrong. But subconsciously we do that sometimes. That is so wrong. If God has called you to do something, a ministry, you do it with all your heart, and He will bless you. He will value your ministry so much that He will not be able to value it anymore. You understand what a ministry is? A smile. A smile to a stranger. Love. Some people have gifts for missionaries. Some people have gifts for preaching, prayer warriors, being a grandma to other children. Those are all ministries. Praise God for that. Another way that God helps us to get back up is remind us where we were from. When you're down and you think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? God, where are you? Sometimes you feel so far away from God. You sometimes feel that the last person on God's mind is you. Because what happened to me was this. I was challenged so much with this, that I would do something wrong. I'd fail God the whole day. And then that day, I would ask for forgiveness, and I'll feel real good. And I turn on Rebecca St. James, and I know that I'm forgiven. And then the next day, guess what? Nick does the exact same thing. Satan comes to me and he says, Nick, are you serious about your relationship with God? You say that He's the love of your life. God doesn't want to hear from you. You already failed Him. You're abusing His grace. That is a lie. For as long as we hunger and thirst for righteousness, there is nothing that's going to separate you from your relationship with God. Why does He keep things and challenge us? Why does He let us be challenged with things over and over again? One, to sober us, to make sure that we know that we are nothing without Him. Two, to help others that are going through the same struggle and encourage others. That's the reason. It's for our own good. It's the glory. That's the glory. You know how I was... Oh, wait a second. Dreaming big. I think, I can get up here and say, yeah, dream big. But how big can we dream? How big is our God? You know what we do sometimes? We put God in a little box. And you know, we're going to say, yeah, this problem is a bit, you know, too big for God, but this problem may be a bit too small. He's too busy. Don't worry about it. We put God in a little box, and every time he's going to, you know, every now and then he's going to poke his head out and say, hey, I'm here. He's not going to force himself out of that box, though. You have to get him out of that box. I pray that you see your God as big as my God, because my God is big. How big can you dream? I ask the students at schools, does anyone know the awesome thing about a blank check is? Hello? Yeah. You can put as much money as you want. So I ask the kids, well, how much money do you want to get? I go, oh, I'll have $1 million. Okay, more. They're like, what? Okay, another girl goes, 555 gazillion dollars. I said, more. Finally, someone says, infinity. Infinity. Do you know what's infinity? Girls, are you ready? Ready for this shopping spree? Ready? Infinity is like $999 gazillion dollars every microsecond. Yeah, I know. They're like, whoa! What would you do with all this money? Well, you would first die of a heart attack 10 times. But what would you do? You would go out and you'd buy all the things you want, your 1,000 Lamborghinis, your massive mansion, everything that you want. You would say, Nick, well, my goals and dreams would finally be fulfilled with money. Right. Well, not everyone here is going to get $999 gazillion dollars every microsecond, but if you do receive a check, please give me a call and I'll be your accountant for the rest of your life. I'm serious, yeah? Okay, I've got business cards at the back. Yeah, who wants to hear a joke? Anyone want to give me a hand? I've got a doctor waiting up the back. I was joking. I just came up with it today. I love. Oh! God gives you a blank check every day. And guess what you can do with it? You can fill out all the goals and dreams that you want to achieve. How big do you want to achieve? If it's God's will, it'll happen in His time, and if not, He's got something bigger. Praise God for that. As you know, I struggled with the worry of not getting married, of not being able to hold my wife's hand, to have a family, to have a hope and a future. But just focusing on my other half sort of thing, pretty much my wife sort of prayer that I've got, it's the greatest desire just about of my life. The greatest desire for me is to be a living sacrifice for God every single day. And, you know, we're human, we fail, but just stick with Him. But pretty much the second greatest desire of my life is to find my wife, to meet my wife and know that she's the one and have that peace and have that great life. Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, February 14th, every year for about 7 or 8 years in a row, I was depressed because all the hot chicks, they got all the truckloads of roses, and all the good-looking guys and like the tall and athletic and big bicep guys would get them. But I never got a rose. I know you're all very shocked because I'm very, very good-looking. I've never received a rose, and I prayed to God one day. I said, God, can you do me a favor and can you let my first Valentine's rose be being given from my very first love? Now, I haven't received the rose yet, so I really believe it's going to come to pass, but little did I know that I already have my true love. My prayer today is that God would open your eyes, your heart, to see that the moment you wake up, God is there while you're brushing your teeth, squeezing your pimples, combing your hair. He's waiting to talk with you, to grow with you, to feed you more. That is the daily journey with Christ. But we get too busy. You know what busy stands for? Being under Satan's yoke. I'm too busy for God. You're under Satan's yoke. Remember that one. That's a good one. I didn't come up with it, but it's a good one. Being under Satan's yoke. Don't be too busy for God. But I pray that He opens your eyes and you'd see His beautiful face and his beautiful, just beautiful smile. And he extends his right hand to you. And in his gentle fingers, he holds a rose. And he says to you, will you be my first love? Will you trust me when you don't understand, when you need comfort, when you feel all alone? God wants you to spend that Valentine's Day with him. And he's such a jealous God, he wants you every single day. Spend some time with God because he's crazy about you. He is so crazy about you. He sent his son to die on the cross for you and me. Talking about the cross of Jesus Christ, just a few more thoughts before we finish up. I spoke at the Teen Challenge thing up here in Toowoomba last April. It was fabulous. Praise God. Souls got touched. And I finished my talk and this man called Russell, elderly, awesome man, comes up to me and he says, Nick, I've got a thought for you. And it's from God. I said, okay. He says, Nick, having no arms and no legs has its burdens. Your cross seems heavy to bear sometimes. But when that happens, remember your ministry. Look to the cross of Jesus Christ. You see that his right arm is nailed to the cross. Nick, you don't have a right arm to be nailed to the cross. You look to his left arm and his left arm is nailed to the cross. You don't have a left arm to be nailed to the cross. Then you look down to his fully extended legs and you see that they're nailed to the cross. You don't have any legs to be nailed to the cross, Nick. The way that God made you, you cannot be put up and limited by being on the cross. Jesus is on the cross for you. You are the unlimited part of Christ's body that's going to go out and spread the gospel like no one's ever dreamed of before. What an awesome ministry. What an awesome ministry. Guess what? Your ministry is just important. I might be speaking to millions around the world, but guess what? That one soul that you plant a seed in their heart, that's just as awesome. Sometimes we want to plant the seeds, we want to see the whole conversion. No, sometimes God just wants us to plant the seeds and you trust him to do the rest. You don't even have to see the results because the results are in heaven and God's blessing you already. See your life as half full instead of half empty. See what God has blessed you with and do the best with what you got. Don't just do the best with what you got. Let God do the best with what you got. Give it to him. He'll do much better. Trust me. So today, I want to encourage you with God's promises. Why can I get up here and smile? Why do you have hope today? Why can you get out of this building with peace in your heart? Because God is here. Because God is living in you. The same spirit that Apostle Paul had in you, you have the same spirit. Believe it. Go for it. Go with God. I want to tell you, once again, there is no such thing as luck, chance, or anything such thing as coincidence that you're here today, that you're here on earth, that you're going through the struggles you're going through. You have a purpose. God has a plan, a good purpose. Will you trust him? Will you recommit your life to him? If you haven't given your life to Christ today or yet, God is calling you. He's been calling you for a long time. And I want to tell you that there is nothing stopping you from being closer to God today. No matter what relationship you have with Christ, he wants you more. He wants more of you because he knows that deep down you need more of him. When you're broken down, think of the sacrifice that Jesus made for you and I. It's just a taste of what he went through for you and me. Know that we are nothing without God in this life. If I didn't have God in my life, if I didn't meet Jesus Christ in my life, I would not be here today. I can guarantee you that with all my heart. I would have given my life a long time ago. What are you struggling with today? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for God to reveal something to you? How much more do you want Him to reveal Himself to you? He sent His Son to die on the cross. How much more can we ask? There is no greater gift. The Holy Spirit wants to come inside of you. If you'd like to be prayed for, just stand up right now. If you'd like to give your life to Christ this morning, if you'd like to come up the front as well, come down. If God is calling your heart, or just put up your hand, whatever you want to do. Come up at the front so everyone can sort of lay hands on you. If anyone, if you don't want to come out, that's okay. God knows your heart. God knows your heart. You want to come? Please come. Come. Please, there's more of you out there. Please come down. Please pray that God's Holy Spirit will convict hearts and come down. Come down. Can we have a few people up here to pray for people? Can we come down, please? Come on. Can we have another person to pray for this young girl as well? 2 people pray for her. Please, if God is calling you today, do not be deceived. Do not let Satan discourage your heart. Don't be afraid. I'll tell you a story. A man went to work and he comes home and he sees his house on fire and it's full of smoke. And his child's up there in the room and he can't get out. And the only way out is jumping out the window. He says, "Son, jump out of the window." He says, "But Dad, I can't see you. I don't know where you are." He says, "That's okay. I'm here. I will catch you." Take that leap of faith. God, your Father in heaven, will catch you. Please. God wants you today, not tomorrow, not in 10 years' time, not until you've done your degree, not until you get married, not until you settle down and have a family, not until you retire. Now. He wants your heart now. Please come down. We'll have people pray for you.
Hi, I'm Nick Vujicic. In purchasing this video, you've enabled this message of hope to be spread out across the globe. I pray that the wonderful things that you see in my life is just a taste of the wonderful things that God has for you. May God bless you all, and I thank you so much for your prayers.